Poetry in motion. Are song lyrics poetry? The relationship of poetry and lyrics has ebbed and flowed over history, from poetry as performance to poetry as literature, and in the modern era back to performance. We used to be inseparable. In the beginning, or at least in ancient Greece, there was no separation between poetry and song. Poetry was inherently musical and meant to be performed. Recitations of epic poetry like Homer's Iliad and Odyssey were accompanied by music played on a lyre, or kithara. It was similar in other cultures too. For example, the Rig Veda, an ancient Indian collection of Sanskrit hymns, was written in highly structured rhythmic verse, a parting of ways. In medieval times, the troubadour poet-musicians kept the sung tradition alive, but by the Renaissance, written poetry started to develop as a literary art in itself. By the Romantic period in the 18th to 19th centuries, works of poets were considered to represent a high point in literary achievement, with poets such as Wordsworth and Keats being considered cultural icons. Together again. The cultural focus returned to song lyrics and performance in the 20th century, and poetry, predominantly as the written word became less widely read. Contemporary troubadour Bob Dylan has been called the 20th century's poet laureate, and he became the first musician/songwriter to be awarded the 2016 Nobel Prize in Literature. However, this caused controversy among writers who didn't consider his work to have the literary merits of more traditional writers. Leonard Cohen, also known for his lyrical depth, was a poet and novelist before becoming a songwriter. Many covers of Dylan's songs have become more popular than the original versions, with a standout example being Jimi Hendrix's version of All Along the Watchtower. Similarly with Cohen, Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah is perhaps the best known, but my favorite is Anthony Hegarty's sublime rendition of If It Be Your Will. Other notable songwriters include Paul Simon, McCartney/Lennon, Billy Joel, Bernie Taupin/Elton John, and Joni Mitchell. And in terms of songwriters who mainly write for other artists, Max Martin and Diane Warren. In more recent years, names that often come up in best songwriters lists include Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift, and Kendrick Lamar. The times are changing. Many fans and followers of popular music lament that lyrics have become, well, less lyrical. Songs are less melodic, less complex, and less harmonically diverse. Indeed, a recent study has shown what many have suspected. Song lyrics have become simpler and more repetitive since 1950, and have also become more negative. The authors of the research acknowledge that lyrics can be considered a form of literary work. Just as literature can be considered a portrayal of society, lyrics also provide a reflection of a society's shifting norms, emotions, and values over time. Listening to popular music from the 20th century is more than a nostalgia trip. Younger generations are also captivated by the sounds of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Digital production techniques such as auto-tune and the use of formulaic catchy hooks to cater to the shorter attention spans of today's listeners have made much of current music sound homogeneous and shallow. By contrast, earlier music, often featuring poetic lyrics or storytelling, may connect to us on a more personal level because it provides an emotional depth that is missing from today's songs.